Good morning, January 22nd, 2021. Wow, years just flying by, isn't it? I'll say that almost all the time. Listen, as an inspirational thought this morning, I was reading in John chapter 9, and I read a whole long section of scripture there where Jesus is referring to other sheep and good shepherd, and in this huge section. In the middle of this, he comes upon a man who was born blind from birth. And his disciples asked him, said, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? So it gives us a picture of the mindset, not necessarily in that day. People still think the same way today. And Jesus answered the question this way. And this is an interesting story, and there's a lot for us to pull from this whole story, and we will. We'll probably look at this for a few sessions. But he said, neither this man nor his parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. Now, I got to pull back from that just a little bit and say, am I okay with that? Am I in my life? I think about, a lot of times our prayer meetings in our churches, and a lot of times when we ask for prayer, it's for healing. It's for whatever's broke to be fixed. It's so that bad things don't happen. It's so that we don't get in a bad situation. And I get that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I wonder if in our own mindset, if we're okay with God doing whatever he desires to do for his glory in our life. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one because, a lot of times we never think about God receiving the glory through our infirmity. You remember Paul when he came to God because of the thorn in his side, a messenger of Satan sent to buffet him, and he prayed that it be removed 3 times. And all 3 times God said, my grace is sufficient. He's not going to remove that. And that was part of the ministry of Paul. Whatever thing that was, God used it for his glory, because in our weakness, we're made strong. Paul actually even, rehearses that several times for us, that in our weakness, the glory of God or the strength of God is revealed. And so we don't like to be in a weak position. We don't want to be in a place where we're out of control. We don't want to be in a place where we have a limp. Think about the limp that Jacob had. I mean, he wrestled with God, right? And he said, I'm not going to let go of you till you bless me. And he touched him, and he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. And, that was a trophy. We see people walking with a limp, and we say, oh, poor them. But can you imagine seeing Jacob walking around and knowing that he got that in wrestling with God? And I think about how glorious it is that God can use our infirmity for his glory. The question is, what's our mindset about that? Are we willing to be that? To be the person that our infirmity, our thing that maybe bothers us the most or is unsightly to other people, if it's there for the glory and purpose of God? I think about the great evangelist and pastor David Ring, who had cerebral palsy, and how he preached the word and he served God and he used that infirmity for the glory of God. And I think, wow, in my mind, I want to be right. I want to be fixed. I want to be healthy. I want to, but God gets glory in the strangest of ways. And so many times I think all we think about is having something fixed or right. And maybe it's in the brokenness where God carries us. It's in the brokenness where God walks beside us. He lifts us. He carries us. He helps us to make the next step. He helps us to get to the next place. And think about that the things that are in our life that maybe we want removed are there for a purpose so that God be glorified. And I wonder, are we willing today to let those things be in our life for the glory of God? I read this and I just think, wow. And then Jesus goes on and talks about day and he talks about night. He talks about sheep and shepherding, and he talks about lots of things. And we're going to touch on a few of these in the next few days. But think about that. What's in your life that could be given to God for his glory? Something that maybe you hold on to. You won't let your mess become your message, and you won't let, the things about you that are broken shine. We try to hide that and conceal that, yet those are the things by which we can glorify God the most. And so seek to glorify him today. This is something you can do today. Remember, this is the day the Lord hath made. Rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Pastor Rusty. I'll talk to you later.